Invisible Women: Exposing Data Bias in a World Designed for Men by Caroline Criado Perez is an eye-opening exploration of the ways in which our society, built on data that largely ignores women's experiences, systematically disadvantages half of its population. The book delves into a wide range of topics, from healthcare and technology to urban planning and crime statistics, revealing how gender bias in data collection and analysis perpetuates inequality and puts women's lives at risk. Criado Perez begins by discussing the historical roots of this data bias, tracing it back to the 18th and 19th centuries when men were considered the default human beings, and women were relegated to the margins of scientific inquiry. This patriarchal framework continued to shape research methodologies well into the 20th century, with women often excluded from clinical trials or not represented in population-level studies. As a result, many medical treatments and devices were designed with an exclusively male body in mind, leading to preventable deaths and injuries among women. One of the most striking examples of this gender data gap is the design of automobiles. Cars are built with an average male body in mind, leading to features like larger steering wheels, higher seatbelts, and larger airbags that can be deadly for women, who on average are smaller and lighter than men. This oversight has resulted in a higher risk of injury and death for female drivers and passengers. The book also examines how gender bias in data collection and analysis impacts women's experiences in the workplace. For instance, research on the gender pay gap often relies on self-reported data, which can be inaccurate due to social desirability bias or lack of awareness about specific aspects of compensation. As a result, the true extent of the pay gap remains underestimated. Additionally, women are less likely to be represented in high-paying fields like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM further exacerbating income inequality. In the realm of crime statistics, gender bias can lead to a distorted understanding of violence against women. Many countries do not track intimate partner violence or sexual assault separately from other forms of violence, obscuring the true scale of these issues. Furthermore, police officers are often trained to view women as inherently less violent and less likely to commit serious crimes, leading to underreporting and under-enforcement of crimes against women. The book also explores how gender bias affects women's experiences in public spaces. For example, urban planning often prioritizes the needs of men, with features like poorly lit streets, lack of public restrooms, and inadequate public transportation making cities less safe and accessible for women. This is compounded by the fact that crime statistics are often based on reports filed by victims, many of whom are women, but are not always taken seriously by law enforcement. In the context of technology, gender bias in data collection can lead to the development of products and services that fail to meet the needs of women. For instance, voice recognition software has been found to perform poorly when recognizing female voices, leading to frustration and exclusion for women who rely on these technologies. Similarly, wearable fitness trackers may not accurately measure certain aspects of women's health, such as reproductive hormones or menstrual cycles, further limiting their usefulness. Criado Perez argues that addressing these issues requires a multi-pronged approach that involves not only collecting more comprehensive data on women's experiences, but also challenging the underlying assumptions and biases that perpetuate gender inequality. This includes increasing the representation of women in STEM fields, advocating for more inclusive research methodologies, and promoting policies that prioritize gender equity in all aspects of society. One of the most powerful tools for achieving this goal, according to the author, is simply to make women more visible. By raising awareness about the ways in which gender bias affects women's lives, we can begin to challenge the status quo and create a more equitable society for all. Invisible Women serves as an important reminder that if we want to build a world that truly works for everyone, we must first acknowledge and address the biases that have long kept women on the margins.